sometimes, on Saturday afternoons, when Ted and Mr. Luscombe were up at the Rec watching the football, if there was any, Doreen would come down and join Dot in a happy indoor afternoon, going through Dot's wardrobe.
I feel awful asking you, and only I wore my green costume last year and the year before, and well, I mean, it seems crazy to buy something just for one afternoon, doesn't it?
Yes, of course. Slip it on if you like.
Oh, no, I did wear it once, if you remember, at that meeting over at Longcreech, I think it was. What, how awful. I'm always borrowing your clothes, Dot.
You're perfectly welcome. Go on, just pop it on, why don't you? Ought to go rather well with that blouse, I should think.
Shall I? Oh, what about tea?
Oh, they won't be in for another 10 minutes or so, I should think.
Right, well, then, if you don't really mind, Dot. Do you know, I loathe all my clothes somehow these days. They're so depressing.
Dot, dear, tea's all on the table when you're
Can
ready.
you beat it as soon as you start doing anything? All right, Mum, in a moment.
I said, just a minute, Dot. Is there something wrong with this sip?
No, I don't think so. I knew she'd do that some other second I start reading a book or doing anything.
Could you just have a look and see if it's caught?
Oh, here, let me know.
I don't want to pull it too hard or anything, because once you get these things wrong, they're the very dickens.
Oh, have you got your petticoat caught in it? Wait a minute.
Have I?
Oh, that's better.
Whew.
Now then. No.
My dear, don't force it. It's no good.
What have you got on underneath?
Only what I always
Well,
wear.
let's have another try then. Just hold yourself in a moment.
I am holding myself in.
Dot, dear, I called you just now, look.
Right, Mum, just coming.
Oh, blast. No, it's no good, Dot. I'd have to wear my old green one again, that's all. You didn't tell me you'd taken it in, or I wouldn't have bothered.
What's this? I'm taking it in.
But you must have, surely. I always used to be able to wear your thing.
I haven't. Honestly, I haven't touched it.
Well, what are you trying to say, then?
I'm not trying to say anything. Look, I think I'd better pop down, though. You know what Mum's like.
Oh, yes, go on, please. Don't bother about me. Tell Mum not to wait. I'll be down as soon as I can.
And he slipped it out to young Barry, see, Flo? Out on the wing here, look.
Oh, yes, dear. That's Ted's look.
And he draws at the fence, look. Pops it across to Arthur Grinter. And bingos it in the back of the blubbing net before you can look round.
Prettiest goal I've seen for years, Flo. The real picture book goal, eh?
Dot, dear, Doreen does know, I suppose.
Yes, I think so, Mum. Yeah.
Oh.
God darn, I never seen nobody look so sick as that bloomin' goalie, eh, Dad?
Oh, that's a fact, son.
Oh, he's coming now.
Oh, there you are, dear. I was beginning to wonder, sir.
Oh, am I late? Sorry.
Come on, my dear. Better late than never, eh?
Oh, well, if we can play like that against Brimacombe next week, I reckon it's in the bag, eh, Dad?
Now, Doreen, dear, bread and butter just there. Look, hurry, dear, make a long arm, would you? Look after Doreen.
Oh, sorry, my dear.
It's all right, thank you. I won't have anything.
What? Nothing? You're quite sure, girl?
Perfectly, thank you.
Here, what's this? You started slimming or something, old dear? Poor lummy. That's a bit late in the day, isn't it?
There you are, Doreen, dear. I put you a spoon. Look, hurry, dear, I asked you to look after Doreen just now, if you remember.
She doesn't want nothing, old dear.
I'm sorry, Doreen, dear. You know what it's like when these men get talking about their football and that. Dot, dear, perhaps you be so good, look.
Oh, she doesn't want any, Mum.
What? How do you mean, dear?
Oh, she says she doesn't want anything to eat. She's just said so.
She doesn't like the look of your cakes, Mum, that's what 'tis.
Just go on with your tea, Ted, dear. Would you mind?
Doreen, dear, is it the indigestion?
I'm perfectly all right, thank you, Mum. Just don't take any notice.
You in training for something, my dear, or what?
Poor darn, this is something new, I reckon. The next thing you know, you'll be seeing me out on my bike about 5 o'clock in the morning, and old Doe pounding along behind in a tracksuit, or a little pair of shorts or something, eh? Hey, Dad, that'll be the day, I reckon.
There's some of that medicine stuff of your auntie's up in the bathroom cupboard, dear. If you'd like me to fetch it for you.
Mum, she hasn't got the indigestion. She just doesn't want any tea, that's all.
Oh, I see.
Oh, darn. You don't want to go in for this blooming slimming caper, surely, my dear?
Oh, well, that's nice of you, Dad, anyway. You seem to be the only one who thinks so.
Because you know the old saying, my dear, you can't have too much of a good thing, etc.
Oh, that's it.
Harry, dear.
Dad, leave her alone, for heaven's sake.
Well, isn't that what they say, look? That's the old saying, isn't it?
You're like me. You like a good armful, eh, Dad?
Take no notice, Doreen, dear. Take no notice at all.
As a rule, it took a good deal to upset Doreen's easygoing nature, but the business of the suit really seemed to strike home.
Poor darn. Smells good, my dear. Oh, I had hardly time for me dinner today. We was such a bloomin' schmozzle. So,
No, dear?
you know, we was going at it hard from the time we got there till... Well, here, aren't you having anything then, old dear?
How do you mean, dear? This is mine.
What? That? Here. Are you all right, old dear?
Perfectly, thanks.
No, you don't want to take no notice of old Dad and them, my dear. John, I don't reckon you put on so much these last few years, you know, honest.
Oh, Ted, really?
Oh, you look about the same to me, any rate.
Don't be too long, would you mind, dear? Because I want to get on with the washing up.
Ted was so disturbed by this change in Doreen that he took the first opportunity to confide in Dot. Only unfortunately he chose the day when Mrs. Prangle was making one of her rare visits, and he'd barely begun to pour out his sorrows to his sister when he was interrupted.
Every evening I come in, see, full of the joys of spring, as they say, thinking to myself, ah, grub, just the job. Then after a few minutes of her sitting there without a perishing word or nothing, I tell you, I'm through.
Oh, Ted.
Can't get it down hardly. I'm just about heaving, look, and that's the truth.
Plus, it's been stood on the table this 10 minutes, I should think. Oh, well, I didn't notice all poured out in it, of course. Ted, dear, here's Mrs. Prangle, look.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Prangle.
Hello, Ted, dear. I saw Doreen in town yesterday, as a matter of fact. Is she all right, sort of? Because I thought she wasn't looking quite the thing, as you might say.
What? Oh, she's not too bad, Mrs. Prangle.
There,
Oh, didn't nothing, really.
Dot, dear. Dot, Mrs. Prangle have brought a box of sweets and that, look. Isn't it good of her?
Ooh, Mrs. Prangle, that's spoiling. May I? I know I ought not to, but...
My dear, of course, they're yours, look. Ted, I know you got a sweet tooth like your father.
Oh, no thanks, Mrs. Prangle. I must be getting along, if you don't
Ted,
mind.
dear, Mrs. Prangle's offering you chocolate, look.
I don't want one, Mum.
Ted.
It was a sad and dejected Ted who went back to work. And before long, Doreen arrived to join the party.
A slice of cream sponge, Doreen?
No, thanks, Mum. I'm far better without it.
Oh, my dear, what's this, then? You've been to the doctor or something?
Of course
She's on a
not.
diet, Mrs. Prangle.
Oh, Doreen, dear, you must keep up your strength. I'm sure you're not eating enough.
Oh, absolute nonsense, Mum. Nearly 2 pounds I've lost already, Mrs. Prangle.
Oh, there, I thought you didn't look well, dear.
Matter of fact, you ought to try it, you know, Dot. I must say it's marvellous for indigestion.
I don't get indigestion.
Oh? No. And I think it'd do you good, you know, Mum, if you don't mind my saying so.
Me, dear?
It's all round here you want to lose it, you know, Mum.
Oh, that's good, yeah, that, Dot, dear.
It's that causes all that breathlessness, you know, Mum.
Doreen, dear, I don't get breathless. I don't really.
Stands to reason that it's bound to be a strain on the heart. Don't you agree, Mrs. Prangle?
Oh, don't ask me, dear. I wouldn't know, as they say. I don't get breathless, do I, Dot, dear?
No, Mum, of course you don't.
Oh. Oh, well, I mustn't sit here all the morning. I feel so much fitter and so much more full of energy somehow. Don't get up, anybody.
Well, short and sweet, eh? Have another chocolate, dear.
No, thank you, Mrs. Prangle. Mum, you...
No, thank you, dear. Oh, well, I'm going to, look. Of course, I know I'm a bit heavier than what I used to be, perhaps. And everyone tends to get bigger, sort of, as they get older. Don't they, Amy?
Oh, yes, of course they do. Anyway, Mum, you're not fat.
Oh, hard centre. I shall have to pop that one back. Don't look anyone. And I don't know why she said that about getting out of breath, Dot, dear, because I wouldn't say that I had to call breathless, am I? Not for me age.
No, of course not, Mum.
Not breathless.
She's just being silly.
Of course, I don't believe this story about slimming myself, dear.
How do you mean, Mrs. Prangle?
Well, all this talk about feeling so fit and cheerful and that, well, you only got to look at her to see 'tis a blind, as they say.
Oh, what do you mean?
Come say what she will, she doesn't look well, does she?
I don't know what you're getting at, Mrs. Prangle.
Oh, well, as I always say, 'tis very hard for young married people these days. It's in one thing, 'tis another somehow. And how's little Gwen settling down, Flo? Oh, Gwen, very well, I think, thank you. I hear she's turned out a very pretty girl, so they tell me. Oh, and where did you hear that, may I ask? Oh, that'd be telling. Never you mind.
Oh, she's got a very nice face, I should say, wouldn't you, Mum?
Yes, dear, very. And blossomed out, too. I should put the lid on, Doc, if you don't want any more. Quite away with the men, I hear. Oh, well, there. I expect she'll liven things up a bit. You and Doreen'll have to watch out, Dot, dear, with a nice-looking young girl about the place, eh?
As a matter of fact, Gwen isn't the least like that, Mrs. Prangle. She's a very nice girl, isn't she, Mum?
Very nice girl indeed, dear. Oh, my dear, I was only joking. There, she's gone quite pink, look. You don't want to take no notice of me, dear. You ought to know that by now, I should have thought.
Look, Mum, I think perhaps I'll pop up if you don't mind, because I've still got 1 or 2 things to do in my room.
Quite, dear, I should.
So if you don't think me rude or anything,
Not at all, dear. I understand perfectly. Perfectly, I understand.
Thank you. Excuse me, Mrs. Prangle.
If Doreen had any secret qualms over her new way of life, she kept them to herself. In fact, she stopped coming down for the mid-morning tea break altogether. And when Dot saw her coming into the shop a few days later, It was their first meeting for some time.
Oh, hello, Doe. Just a minute, nearly finished. Packet of sago, please, Eva.
My dear, Seiko.
Yes, sago, why?
Oh, nothing. Go on.
And I'll have one of those steamed treacle puddings, too. They're very good.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Eva.
Oh, Dot, that reminds me. I've been meaning to bring back that suit. I'm sorry.
Oh, that doesn't matter, Doe, any time. Is it all right?
Oh, perfect, thanks. I had to take it in, I'm afraid, but it's only tacked.
You took it in?
Yes, rather a lot, actually. But I was very careful. I'll bring it back without fail tomorrow morning.
Oh, I wasn't meaning that. It's your turn now, I think.
What? Oh, sorry, Eva.
Well, I have to be off. See you sometime.
Oh, of course, yes. Look, Eva, do you happen to stock some stuff called Slim Bits? Sort of biscuit things they are. You see them advertised on television.
And honestly, Mum, I could sort of feel her eyes watching me from behind all down the street.
Oh, Dot, dear, I think you're making it up. Look.
That's the one thing I really mind about, if you must know, Mum. I've always been worried about that ever since I was a kid at school.
Dot, dear, what? I don't know what you mean.
Well, this blooming skirt doesn't help. It's
Oh.
got so seated. Look, I shall throw it away.
Oh.
Shan't wear it again.
Dot, dear, really.
Now, that's gone and worried me, Mum. I wish we'd got a proper long mirror. Is it bad, Mum?
Well,
No, you must tell me. Is it as bad as Mrs. Slater's?
But if Doreen managed to put a brave face on the world, it wasn't as easy as she liked to pretend.
Jennifer, dear, whatever is that extraordinary smell?
Oh, I hoped you wouldn't notice. I spilt something on the stove.
Oh, dear, what have you been doing?
She's been trying her hand at a bit of cooking, old dear.
Something we made at school.
Try some.
No, thank you. What's it supposed to be, for heaven's sake?
It isn't supposed to be anything. It's fudge, isn't it, Dad?
Oh, and darn good, too. Come on, old dear. Have a bit.
No, thank you.
Oh, but it always used to be your favourite.
So it may have been, dear. Oh, Jennifer, don't put your sticky fingers on the back of that chair. Look. Oh, look.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Hanky, here, take mine.
Oh, that's no use.
Oh, darn, I can't leave this bloomin' stuff alone. One more bit and that's my lot.
Eat.
Come on, Doe. One won't hurt you.
I'm just going upstairs to put some things in the airing cupboard. And if there's any mess in the kitchen, I shall expect it to be cleared up, mind, by the time I come down.
All right, all right. What's up with her, for heaven's sake?
I beg your pardon. Well, Jenny, I reckon your mum's weakening, my dear. That's about what 'tis, look.
Dot and Mrs. Luscombe waited expectantly all the next morning, but no Doreen appeared. So, in the afternoon, they went into Evercombe as arranged, leaving Susan in charge of Gwen.
Harry, dear, I'm so sorry. We only missed it by 2 minutes, I should think, didn't we, dear?
Honestly, Mum, I think it must have been early. I do really.
Oh, that's okay, my dear. Not to worry, as they say. Though I must say I'm pretty peckish.
Where's Susan then, Dad? I don't hear her about anywhere.
Oh, she's out with young Gwen up the yard or somewhere.
Oh.
Look, Flo, who's been tucking into them chocolates old Amy brought t'other day?
What do you mean, dear? I haven't touched them. Lost my taste for them somehow.
Well, I come to get one just now, look, waiting for you, and there was none left.
All gone? But there was a whole bottom layer nearly.
Exactly.
Well, it's no good looking at me, Mum. I haven't had one since the day she brought them. I've given them up, as you know.
The box was out there, look, on the dresser, and I thought to myself, just a job. And when I went and opened the lid...
That, dear.
Look.
You don't think 'twas the little one, perhaps?
Well, I should hardly think so, Mum. She never has taken anything without asking. Perhaps it was Gwen.
Oh, not dear, really.
Well, I don't know why that's so extraordinary. Nothing wrong with it, surely. Don't bother about Susan's supper, Mum. I'm doing hers now.
Oh, Dot.
What?
Dot, dear, not cream. I shouldn't, if you don't mind me saying so.
Oh, why not?
Well, dear, is it wise, sort of, after them chocolates? That's all I was thinking.
Susan did not eat those chocolates, Mum.
No, dear.
She doesn't take things that aren't hers.
No, dear. Of course not, dear little soul.
Well, then.
Let me get you the little jug, then, dear.
Thank you.
Oh, so Doreen had been then.
Well, why'd you say that?
Oh, dear, your suit, look, on the chair.
Oh, so it is. Mum, you don't think...
Dot, dear, the self-same thought had just entered my head.
Golly, Mum, here she is.
Hello, Doreen, my dear. What brings you here, then?
Oh, Doreen, dear.
May I come in a moment, Mum?
Well, of course, dear.
Here, what have you got there, then, girl? Chocolates?
Night, dear.
I don't know how to tell you hardly. I've never done anything so awful in my whole life. I simply don't know what came over me.
So it was you, eh?
I came to bring back your costume, Dot, and there was nobody about. And then I saw those wretched chocolates.
Oh, my dear. Oh, there.
What came over me, I just do not know.
Oh.
Honestly, Mum, when people say they committed a crime because they weren't responsible or something, I never believed them before.
Oh, Doreen.
Anyway, here's another box, Mum.
Oh, no,
Luckily, Eva had one
no,
just like it.
No, dear,
Oh,
no.
yes, I insist.
Doreen, dear, come on. Let me fill you up.
Oh, Mum.
Ooh, coffee cream. My favourite. Doe, you going to have one?
Oh, Dot, no, really. What they'll do to me, I dare not think.
Come on, old dear, don't give up now. Look, you've only eaten one hole there so far.
If you want to loosen anything kind of style, don't be shy, me dear.
Harry, dear, thank you.
Well, I shall have to at this rate, Dad. Oh, well, might as well be hung for a sheep now, I suppose.
Oh, that's the style.
Good old Doe.
Hey, well, look, Doe, strawberry.
Oh, well, don't expect to see me tomorrow, anybody.
Call again in about a week's time, eh?
Here, let's have that box again a second, girl, before they all go.
Oh, sorry, Dad, who are?
Ta. God darn, I don't know why you girls are so blooming crazy on these things. I don't really.
Look, Mum, do you think perhaps I could have a little of that stuff Auntie left behind? Just to be on the safe side.
Oh, Doreen, dear. Take the bottle, why don't you?
No, Mum.
Yes, dear, please. Take it and keep it, look, with my love. Yes, I insist, look. Oh, Doreen, there, you don't know how happy you'd make me, sort of.